All right. Whew. It's been a while. 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 Let me go roll all this in. Let's roll all this in. Today is going to be fun. Today's going to be fun. What's good? How you doing, Javiro? Javiro? Probably said that wrong. I see 1982. Ooh, 1982. We went to the moon. All right, anywho. So today, the topic that I want to talk about is something that ended up popping up on my TikTok earlier today, which was actually pretty interesting. Like I woke up and I did my stuff, and I opened the phone, and when I opened the phone, there was this message, and I was like, okay, I guess the universe telling me it's time to talk about this. It's talking about the types of energy vampires. Now, with it, we're living in a time where a lot of people bring up energy vampires. A lot of people say energy vampires, and majority of the time they're talking about things like narcissists. But I've dealt with like five different types of energy vampires. I call them creatures. I call them creatures. Some people call them spirits. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into my encounters with these creatures, these spirits, but I have been attacked throughout my whole life by them. And I'm at a point now where I recognize them and I remove them. I can I can physically see these creatures. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I've known about some of them for a while. And then it got to a point where after the last situation I've been in, um I couldn't speak about everything that was going on because of the fact that it would have made me seem crazy. Even though the narcissist, which is one of them, was already trying to make me seem crazy. But I'm at the point now in my life where I'm like, you know what? My entire life been getting attacked by these creatures. And I had a discussion with my mother today, and she was like, "Well, you need to ask yourself why. Why is it that your entire life these things come after you?" And I had asked my wife as well, and my wife was like, "Matter of fact, let me go to what my wife has said. My wife said that because she's like because you want to fight." I was like I've been fighting these things for so damn long, and my wife was like, "The reason why." So I asked my wife, I was like, "Why do I have to fight so much?" And she's like, "You fight because you're good." Now, and if they can convince you that you're not, then you lose and they win. I was like, oh, dang. I mean, that makes sense. I wish that somebody had told me this a lot. I wish somebody had told me this before, but nobody did. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the first one. This one right here is the one that everybody seems to love to talk about right now. Everybody loves to talk about narcissists. Wild, wild. I'm like, come on. A lot of people don't even know what a narcissist is, honestly. But I'm going to break it down pretty simple for the most part because I'm not going to get into like the whole diagnosis and all that stuff. But first of all, let me welcome y'all in for those who don't know me. Yes, yes, yes. Those who don't know me, what's good, what's good? It's your boy, Danli Divine. I also have taken on a new nickname, the Web Spinner. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy. I am very good at connecting people to other people to help them get to where it is that they seek to go. But it's interesting. I mean, the purpose of today, we're going to be breaking down the six types of energy vampires, who they are, how they drain you, and how you can spiritually and emotionally protect yourself. That last part is very, very important. And that right there comes down to a lot of the ideologies of things that are in the Kabbalion when it comes down to the mind. In the Kabbalion, it states that the all is mind, the universe is mental. And with that, if you understand that, yes. If you don't, I'm not getting into it right now. I'll probably end up talking about it later on in a different episode. And for anybody who is new, welcome, welcome, welcome. For anybody who is returning, thank you so much. Now, with it, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So stay tuned for the tips at the end on how to reclaim your energy and set powerful boundaries. That's something that is very important. So, anyway, getting into it. What is an energy vampire? Energy vampires are often people who drain your emotional, mental, or spiritual energy. Now, I know everybody does not believe in spirituality. Spirituality, perfectly fine. But you cannot deny emotional energy. You cannot deny mental energy. I mean, if someone's draining your physical energy, it's gonna be yo, what's goody? How you doing, Anna? Yo, blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for the follow. Much love and appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But when it comes down to your energy, you need to protect that. Your mental energy. There's times where these creatures can sit here and be saying things to you, making you overthink, making you wonder about your own reality. Yo, blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. And when they are saying things, making you second guess yourself, making you question your reality. Yo, blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When they're making you question your reality, that right there is them getting in your head. They're draining your mental. Now, when someone's sitting here and leading you on, talking, love bombing you, but then talking down to you, making you feel bad, they are draining your emotional. They're draining your emotions. Now, when it comes down to the spiritual side, that one is a little more complex because I would have to say that right there is something that's more unseen, something that is usually unheard unless you're aware of your senses, your clear senses. When you're being drained spiritually, it's usually something that's going on in the spirit realm. That right there can be a parasite, which I'll end up talking about later on. I wish I had my big bro, or I wish I had my big bro or my father-in-law with me because they can get into that one real heavy. So the things that these energy vampires will do, its behaviors, it'll sometimes be sometimes it'll be like unconscious to where they're doing it without even thinking about it, or it'll be intentional. So like a lot of things with the narcissist, or when it comes down to the drama magnet, the controller as well. Those right there are oftentimes intentional. The narcissist does do a lot of things that are they're doing it unconsciously. They're doing it. It's just part of who they are. That's their nature, you know. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good, Anna. So I mean, you cannot always just be like, oh, this person's this person's this. I gotta give it up to my wife because in time she was able to put it into my head. Listen to what people say, but watch what they do. And that was something that I in the past never really did. I didn't pay attention to what people were doing. I just took their word as their bond. I took their word as what you say is the truth, because that's how I am. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and if I don't, I feel really bad, and I'll sit there and be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry." I do not like to go back on my word. I do not like to. I don't lie. None of that's because that's not who I am. And it back in the day used to really aggravate me when people would try and say that I was a liar or things like that. I would want to prove them wrong, but I learned in time that when you when you start to go and when you feel the need to prove that you're a good person, you've already lost. You've already lost. But anywho, let's get into it. The 6 types of energy vampires. Y'all ready for the first one? I'm sure you already know what the first one is. Do you know what the first one is? What's the first one? Oh, the first one is the dreaded motherfucking narcissist. The narcissist. So the narcissist, their traits, they're very self-centered. They lack empathy, and they have like this constant need for admiration. Have you ever ran across somebody to where everything was about them, or they had to make everything about them? To where you can be sitting there talking about how you took a cruise last summer and you went to Hawaii, and then they're gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, that sounds real nice. I took a cruise once, and we went to Spain, and oh man, it was amazing. The pool was this, and I had so many drinks," making everything about them. Every time that they do something, it's always very, they gotta like show out, you know? All their gestures are so grandiose, it's ridiculous. Everything needs to be the best of the best. It's sad. Now with it, let me get into how narcissists will sit here and drain you. I'm not gonna get. I'll give brief stories on the creatures that I've dealt with, because I've dealt with almost all of them, which is wild. I think the only one that I cannot say that I've actually dealt with will be the last one. We'll get there. So stay tuned. All right, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Whoo! Narcissists will drain you by making everything about them, and they will ignore your needs. They will ignore your needs. You can be crying out for the attention. You can be crying. You can tell them how it makes you feel when this happens, something that they do. They will turn around and make it seem like you have done the biggest disservice to them by telling them that they made you feel a type of way. And now they're going to sit there and play the victim as if you were the problem all along. With them, it's a lot of you, or they'll switch the roles and make it seem like you are attacking them. Now, ways that they'll go about this is verbally, emotionally. Sometimes they'll even get physical and beat up on you. Hopefully, you don't run across that type. If you do, you better keep the blippy on you. True talk, no lie. Because unfortunately, very few people will believe you if you were to tell the truth of what's going on. Evidence is always going to be your best friend. My situation was, had an incident where the girl, she was literally trying to make me seem as if I was crazy. I'm talking about lied in court and told them that she sat in on one of my mental health cases, saying that I was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, borderline personality disorder, and I think it was PTSD, depression, one of them. I still got all the paperwork. I had to open up my case to show the court that no, I'm only diagnosed with PTSD and depression. She lied about all that. Then at the same time, her husband tried to rape my wife, but then she tried to say that I did that to her. Literally took my wife's statement verbatim and said that I did that to her. I had to show the timestamps. Also show that she lied to the military, CID, and then how she contradicted her story in court. As same with her husband. Now, the thing that was funny about that was her husband even stated that she's very controlling. Everything needs to be her way. Multiple other people did not want to hear anything that I was telling them, which I only told them about one situation. Not that she was constantly blowing me up, emailing me, constantly dropping the I love yous and everything when I told her to leave me alone. This is harassment. So with it, when she started lying, she was smear campaigning me the whole time, like while we were together. Then at the same time, afterwards, she was making up a whole bunch of stuff, telling people all this stuff, afraid that I was going to expose her. I didn't want anything to do with her. And the worst part is in court, she started lying on all the people who she was telling these lies to, causing them to come forward and tell the truth. And then that's when everybody was like, oh shit. And then I was like, yeah. But at the same time, I feel that these energy vampires, I look at everything that happens in life as a lesson or a blessing. The lesson here was watch. Listen to what people say, but watch what they do. Because people will tell you anything, but they can't fake anything forever. You're gonna see the true them. And when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I'm like, I don't believe in that 3-strike rule no more. I'm like, shoot, once you show me who you are, pop smoke, deuces. And the blessing in this was it really exposed a lot of fake people around me. Because if you're around me and you say you're my friend, you care for me and stuff like that, and you've known me for so long, because everybody who is in my life, well, the people who I'm real close with have been in my life for years, and those who have been in my life for years, they didn't believe the lies that was being told to them. It was the other people who was like around me, and there was some people that were in my life for years, but it also showed me that they were not there for me because they ended up believing the lies. So the blessing in that was it helped me remove the snakes out of my garden, you know? So, I mean, there's a lesson and a blessing in everything. And as much as I hated the situation, how much pain it brought me, and all the stuff that I had to go through just because of the ego of somebody else, it ultimately taught me a lot. Now, the combat strategy, I went over a little bit of it. Set clear emotional boundaries. You need to tell yourself, if this happens, I will do this. I will not tolerate this. I will not allow myself to be in positions like this. Okay? You need to set firm boundaries and stand 10 toes down on those mugs, all right? You need to limit your engagement. When they are talking to you and they're trying to pinpoint stories, like if you watch things that I do, like if I'm on live and stuff and people going off and I'm just like, that is your reality. So I'm not telling them they're lying. If that's what they believe, that's what they believe. Also, the one-liners. Sure. Okay. All right. You don't have to agree. You don't need to agree. If you do not agree with them, do not even fake like you agree. Just say sure. Okay. Now, this part is going to be difficult, especially as you're first learning and coming onto it. You need to understand how to regulate your emotions. Because as soon as you show a sign of emotion, they see it as like blood in the water and they sharks. They're ready to jump on it. They just swim on it. Do 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 do. JV shark. All right, anyway. So yeah, I swear I'm like 80. I got ADHD or something. It's ridiculous. Don't fall into their validation trap. They're going to be seeking validation as if the things that they're doing is right. Oftentimes comes with the triangulation. The triangulation is when they're going to go to outside people who they have already groped and groomed to be their flying monkeys. And then they're going to sit there and get these people to lie for them. Get these people to sit there, oh no, he's this and he's that. Oh no, you did the right thing. Oh no, forget that person. You did this, and try and make it seem like that person is the holy grail. And God forbid that while they're trying to get that validation trap, you provide the evidence and show it. Oftentimes what the narcissist will do is they will literally, the one that I dealt with, well, I dealt with a couple of them. What they'll do is show people what it is they want the people to see. They won't show the people everything. Another way that you can combat that is, like I said, keep all evidence. Show everything, not bits and pieces. And a lot of times you don't need to say anything. Show everything and allow people to see the full story. Because they say there's always three sides to every story: your side, their side, and the truth. I just provide everything and let the people see. Now, granted, there are individuals who rather defend who they like rather than what is right. That's fine, with all due respect. Fuck them. But yet, a great majority of the people, especially in this day and age when a lot of people are seeing through the BS, they'll read the evidence and see everything that was going on. And then that right there will also show them what the narcissist is doing. Now, going into the next energy vampire is the victim. Ugh, this one is mad annoying because this is the exact same way that, unfortunately, my sister plays this role currently. I really hope that she gets better, and I continue to pray that she fights this spirit. The victim. They're constantly helpless. Everything is woe is me, woe is me. They got the very negative. Now, the thing that gets me is when they are around certain people, they can play the all happy, jolly, go lucky, but they always end up rolling back into the seeking validation and the hopeless, constant negativity, the poor me card. Why does this happen to me? I'm just trying to be the best person, the best wife, the best husband. Why does people always treat me like this? It's always the woe is me. It's very, very, very emotionally draining. They like to drop that guilt and pity as if they want you to feel pity for them. They want you to feel sad for them. They're draining your emotions. They refuse solutions. Have you ever had times where you have people call you and they want to just completely trauma dump on you? And you try and you give them solutions and they're not hearing it. And then they'll call back like multiple times throughout, I don't know, months, weeks, whatever. And it's almost like the same exact problem that keeps on happening over and over and over again. And they want to do the woe is me. Why does this happen? Now, I know a lot of people out there, if y'all are dating, you probably hear that, where you got like a boy or a girl that's overlooking you and going for the same toxic, retarded motherfofo in the opposite sex, maybe even the same sex. I don't know how you swing. But they constantly keep overlooking you, but want to sit here and complain to you about all the mistakes they're making. And yo, simpy ass, sucker and level, mediocre pussy or penis, whichever one you are, you sitting there constantly listening to it, allowing yourself to be drained. While this person does not want to hear, does not want to get clarity, does not want any solutions. They're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because they know that there are people there to make them feel as if it's not their fault. Motherfucker, yes, it is your fault. I said it. It is your fault. For every action, there is an equal or greater reaction. And with that reaction is coming. And if you keep doing the same damn thing over and over, hoping for a different result, that is called insanity. That is how the victim plays. The best way to combat a victim energy vampire, you can offer the support, but redirect responsibility. Let them know that it is their responsibility. When I have individuals call, like me and my mom do this, my mom will call and she'll be like, hey, can I vent? I'm like, all right, cool. That allows me to know she wants to vent. She just needs to get it out. There's some times where may call my mom or she may call me or other people may call me. I'm unfortunately I know how to heal myself now, so I don't seek it from anybody else, which allows me to be there for others. Like, so big up Ayana if you're there. Love you, girly. She is one of the people I can do an equivalent exchange with. We can vent to one another and we can drain, but we pour back into each other. So I love you, girl. Love you, Ayana. I'm able to do the same thing with my mom. Other people, they just take, and they don't really give anything back. And that's fine because I know how to give to myself. That's why I'm by myself a lot. I'm loving myself. I don't seek it from nobody else. I've reached a point in my life where I'm like, half y'all motherfuckers is fake anyway. Y'all smile in my face and talk shit behind my back. Not knowing anything about me. But the fact that you think you know something, you run with it. It's hilarious. But yes. You need to let the victim know, the ones with the victim mentality, let them know that's their responsibility to make a change. You need to avoid enabling that behavior, the things that they are doing. You need to avoid that. So when they are coming to you complaining about something, you need to let them know. Be like, hey, look, I've listened to you complain about this scenario multiple times or once before. This is my boundary. If you have something you want to talk about again and you don't want to seek a solution, you're not here for a conflict resolution, I'm going to have to scoot you on. I'll listen to it one time, but for 2 times, nah. That's just telling me you don't want to do anything but waste my time and drain my energy, and I'm not here for that. So therefore, if the person calls you again, you've already expressed to them what your boundary is. You also let them know that they need to do something different. Because if they come to you a second time with the same problem, even if it is a same problem with a different person, even if it's a different person, that same problem, and you didn't figure it out, I'm not here for you because I've already gave you a solution and you didn't want to take it, which lets me know that you don't want to do better. That's the difference between stupid and ignorant. Stupid is you don't know and you don't want to know. Ignorant is you don't know but you're willing to learn. There's a lot of stupid people in the world. I'd rather be ignorant than stupid. You feel me? So going on, you need to protect your energy with compassion. You ain't got to sit here and curse somebody out while you're protecting yourself, but you need to let them know. Be firm, be just, and stand 10 tones down on it. Now with it, you got the drama magnet. Oof, the drama magnet. I ain't gonna drop no names, but anybody who knows. I'm just going over the most recent ones. There was one where I was a co-host on a podcast with this other chick, and it was interesting because when I first met this girl, I met her and her husband. It was met them down in South Carolina. They was beefing with this other chick. I guess this other chick was upset about something. I'm not gonna get into all of it. I know what happened, but ultimately she was beefing with this other girl who I knew who was also in the Kit group at the time. And it was the drama magnets and her husband. And then they were sitting here trying to act like they didn't know what was going on. And I found out what was going on. I was like, ain't my business, whatever. I don't care. Then, as throughout the like year and a half, 2 years that I knew this drama magnet, every time I turned around, she always had drama with somebody and was constantly, and I started peeping at one point. I was like, why is it you always in some type of argument or confrontation with somebody? And I realized that it always ended up happening because she would talk mad crap about people. And she would always start talking stuff about somebody after the person exposed her. When the person talked about what she did and made it to where she had no choice but to either accept the accountability or run away from it, which she always ran away from the accountability. And that's when she got into the whole lying on the person and trying to get other people to lie on the person, which, long story short, she ended up doing the same on me because I ended up finding out about how she forced herself up on one of my homeboys when he was drunk, and then she started talking shit on him because he wouldn't get hard. He was like, I didn't want you, but at the same time, whatever. Then it was a whole scene. It was a whole scene. I was like, that's crazy. Then created a whole bunch of lies and got other people to lie who don't even know me, never seen me or anything, to lie on me to try and validate her point. So yes, it was ridiculous. But going on to the traits of the drama magnet. Always in a crisis. Always in a crisis. There's always something going on in their life. There's always some drama. They always know about some drama or in the center of the drama. They feed off chaos and gossip. If you notice someone is constantly got gossip or is constantly talking about what's going on, and I heard this, and this person does this and this and this, they're feeding off chaos. They're feeding off chaos. The way that they drain is they will overwhelm you with emotional roller coasters. They'll give you that high of dopamine because of the fact that a lot of individuals like that drama. Me personally, I don't really fancy drama because it upsets my soul because I can feel both sides. I feel the height of the individual who does not want to be a part of it but is drawn into it because they have some type of attachment to it. And then I can feel the hype of the other person who's getting a thrill out of causing that drama by everybody else coming over, and they're feeling the energy and getting pumped off of everybody else's reaction and responses to the way that they are maneuvering and manipulating the situation. It's fucking stressful for me. So I don't do it. I don't watch the reality TV shows, all that stuff. My wife be watching all that. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to go play the game, or I'm going to go outside on a walk. I'm going to read a book. Go sit on the fucking rock and meditate or some shit. I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to be around that. Put your headphones in. Shut the fuck up, you know? But yeah, I don't do drama. And anybody who's known me for a long time, I always say, I'm like, I don't do drama. I remove myself because I know how I can get with drama. And with me being the empath that I am, it'll rile me up, and I know where I've come from, and I don't want to go back there. So if I reach a point to where I'm getting riled up off the emotions of other people, and it's negative energy, I mean, I'm at a point now where I can block it out, but back then, I would feed off of that, and I didn't like that because I'm a fighter, and My body would move on its own, and the last thing I need to do is fuck somebody up on purpose on accident, you know? So I would avoid that. But they will get you there with those emotional roller coasters. They'll give you those highs and those lows, keeping you wanting to know what's gonna happen next. And they always got the new scoop. They always got the new tea of what's going on. Oh, did you know da da da? Hey, such and such did this and this. I heard that such and such was coming around to do this, and his or her boo or whatever said this. Oh, girl, you better watch out. Oh, boy, man, watch out when this shit get cracking. Like, nah, miss me with that. The best way to combat the drama vampire, the drama magnet, is you need to stay grounded. Staying grounded. You need to find your inner peace, your balance. This right there is a control. This is a total control over your physical, your mental, and your emotional. That right there will help regulate your spiritual. Okay? Don't get emotionally entangled. Anytime that you're putting energy into something, you're giving a part of you away. Just imagine yourself as being a fish in a fish tank. So every time that something's coming over here and you're giving a piece of you away, you're giving water out of that fish tank. And chances are you're not going to get that water back. And when you're allowing people to interrupt your emotions, they're putting cracks on that fish tank. And at some point, when that emotion gets riled up to a point, you're going to break. Those cracks are going to shatter. You're not going to have that protection anymore. And then you're going to drain yourself mentally by allowing everything to come out. And where does that leave you spiritually? Is the little fishy that's swimming in the fish tank? Gasping for air. Trying to figure out what your next move is. How are you going to survive? Because all the damage has been done. So what you need to do is limit time around people. Limit time around people and around those drama magnets during those times of crisis. When they're going off and they're constantly trying to draw people in on the drama, remove yourself. So for some of y'all who really love the gossip and all that, I bet you your lives, you wonder why some things are happening in your lives. I bet you are. Amen to that, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. You need to learn to remove yourself. What's up, Ray? How you doing, boss? Now with it, you've got the next one, the passive aggressive. Ugh, cheese and bread. The passive aggressive, I have to say, I dealt with the most passive aggressive individuals in the military and also in corporate. The military, because the time that I was in the military, we were in a time of war. But then when we went to a time of peace, whoo, child, everything in the military decided to change. Those who had a combat history were constantly getting in trouble because they were straightforward. Like, they were still the pit bulls. They were still operating like the NCOs, and everything mattered. It was life or death. So when we went to a peacetime, now you had a lot of individuals, I call them the pussies. They were very passive aggressive. Now with the passive aggressive, the traits of passive aggressive individuals are they withhold communication. They use sarcasm and guilt trips. Now withholding communication, that right there can make an individual feel as if they don't matter. Their thoughts are not valued. The things that they do does not matter. It also feels like you're being lied to, like you're untrustworthy, because everybody knows but you. And it's a horrible feeling. I mean, I've had this situation with my wife's mom. But I mean, I guess that's just the attorney in her. But I'm not giving any excuses. And this is something I noticed with her a long time ago, and I was just like, But I had to learn how to shake and move. I'm like, the withholding of communication. You would literally have to interrogate her to get information because of the fact that And if you didn't know what to ask, you're not going to find out, because transparency is not something that is big with them. They're not going to just volunteer that information. They're not going to tell you these things. You have to know what to ask. And if you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to get the answer of what it is that you need. They like to use sarcasm to hide their how they truly feel. They will mask a lot of things with sarcasm, and then they also will try and guilt trip you to make you feel as if you did something because of the fact that they don't want to take responsibility for it. They don't want to have the accountability or recognize that they played a part in something. It sucks. But that's what happens when you have passive aggressive individuals. Now, the way that they drain is they undermine your confidence subtly. They chip away at it very slowly, to the point where over time you start to wonder, is this all my fault? Am I the reason this happened? What am I doing wrong? I can't do anything right. Every time that I do something, it's always turns out like this. They allow you to create stuck points in your head. And stuck points are ways that you perceive something. You're stuck on that thought. And with that, that stuck points will allow you to walk yourself down a spiral into depression or other mental states. They will drain you mentally. The passive aggressive individual will drain you mentally by making you second guess and wonder what's really going on, because you cannot get a definite answer because you don't know what to ask. And even if you do ask, you might not get a direct answer. So you have to learn how to ask yes or no questions. Closed-ended questions. Do not answer open-ended questions, because it's going to leave you with the sure. And honestly, even asking closed-ended questions leave with the sure. But that's when you have to sit here and directly tell them, I need a yes or a no. Because sure leaves you to think of anything. And I had to express that to them. Like, look, when I speak with y'all, y'all leave it up to the person's imagination. You don't give them a clear answer. You allow them to think whatever they want to think by you giving a response that does not answer the question. You respond to what it is that they ask you, but you don't answer what they ask you, allowing you to have a thought in your head and run with it. So that way, if later on you come back and say, well, you said this and this and this, and they're like, I did not say that. I said this. You thought this, 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 and this, and this. Well, I thought see, there you go. You thought this, 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 and this. I said this. So that's not a this or a this. You thought. And that's how they chip away at your confidence, making you second guess and question yourself over time. That's the passive aggressive way of doing shit. That's how they mentally drain you. Now moving on down. Come on down now. We're going to the controller. I know everybody in their life has ran across a controller at some point, right? Yes, raise your hands. I've dealt with a controller before. Cheese and bread. Controllers are fucking annoying. But hey, first of all, let me go ahead and say, I thank everybody who's been jumping on so far, dropping likes, all that. Check out the YouTube. I got all the podcasts on there. Getting back into doing my podcasts solo dolo, but I've also got some great things in the mix. I've got plenty episodes with other people who want to speak their truths coming out in September. I have a lot of big things that I have been doing in the back burner. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing, so I'm not disclosing it to you. You'll know at time when I let you know, I'll let you know. But as of right now, go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, check out with the vibes. We doing learning. Stick with me on my spiritual growing, my spiritual healing, and the growth and evolution of divine time, because it is divine time. Everything happens in divine time. So relax your mind and let's get right back into it. We was talking about the controller. Oh shit, that was probably loud. Excuse me. Sorry, I can't sing. I can squawk your ears off. So if your ears start bleeding, let me know. The controller. Their traits. They're very dominating. They love to micromanage and they're always right. They will dominate any situation. You can be out. They will tell you where we're going. Let's say you're going on a date with something. Going on a date with someone. I might as well say something because everybody is not a body, you know. So let's say, matter of fact, I said I was gonna give personal examples. The controller. I was out with this one girl, and it was insane. It was crazy. Goshly dang. This girl, she refused to be on the highway. She cannot drive on the highway. So with that, I had to find alternate ways to get us to the date. And the date was out in Seattle. And so I ended up going to get her, and she was acting all scared and stuff because I was about to get on the highway. So I was like, "What's wrong?" She was like, "I don't do highways." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, so I'm on the highway for probably like 5 minutes, and she's like, kind of like freaking out. I was like, "Yo, you good?" She's like, "Can we get off the highway?" I was like, "Okay." So boom, pull over, boom, hit waves, see how I can get to where we need to go without being on the highway. Luckily, I'm a very punctual individual. I like to be on time, so I left early and wanted to make it to where we had enough time to do what we were gonna do. And the good thing is, I had a plan ahead of time to where we were gonna do something before we end up going to the restaurant. Clearly, we didn't make it to that, so we ended up just going straight to the restaurant because I had to avoid the highways and take the byways, down on the byway. There's a bayou, but anyway. So we do that. We get there, and she's telling me, "Oh, I should try this and try this." I'm like, "Have you been here before?" She's like, "No." She's like, "It just looks good and smells good." She's like, "I want you to try it." I'm like, "I am from my mother's vagina." I'm joking. I'm originally. I grew up in Hawaii. I'll just leave it at that. I grew up in Hawaii, the island of Hawaii, Oahu to be specific. If you want to know, the concrete jungle. So with it, we go and we're at the restaurant. She's wanting me to try all these different things, and I'm like, okay, cool. So now she's trying to tell me what to eat. Now, granted, I've been at this restaurant before. I know how good it is. But then when I try and have her try something, she's like, I'll get around to it. And I was like, but yeah, you trying to stuff food down my face and you've never been here. I'm like, woman, I've been here before. Like, I know what's good. Eat that steak. But yeah, it was interesting because later on, as we're going, she's trying to make sure that, okay, what's next? I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this and this and this. She's trying to have me park in a certain parking spot. It was just interesting how everything needed to be her way. She was dominating the whole date. I was like, okay, cool. Should you plan the next one? She's like, oh, I would love to. Da, da, da. And in my head, I was like, that was a joke because I know that's going to be ridiculous as fuck. You plan the date? Shit. I can only imagine. Walk faster. We only have zero point 0.2 milliseconds left to get there. Like, it was crazy. The micromanagement. The micromanagement in her life was ridiculous. I mean, she was a banker. She was a banker at the time. I don't know what she's doing now. And very beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. Very beautiful woman. Just batshit crazy. I mean, everything needed to be her way. Even to the point where there was one time she asked me a question. She said, I have a friend who's just coming back from the military. He's coming back from being deployed, and I want to see him. I was like, go see him. She was like, that's okay with you? I was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, you haven't seen him in forever. She was like, well, if you had a friend that was like coming back and it was a girl, I wouldn't let you see her. It would make me very uncomfortable if you went to see her. I was like, why? I haven't seen her forever. She's like, because it's a girl. Like, that just makes me uncomfortable. I was like, but why does it make you uncomfortable? She was like, well, what if she tries to do something? I was like, well, it takes two to tangle. I was like, I can say no. She's like, but what if you don't? I was like, then that means that I, you can't trust me either. So I was like, now if I was like, it doesn't really matter. I'm like, one, we're not like together. She's like, oh, we're not. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember us having a conversation, putting a title on anything. I'm like, we've been talking for like 2 days. I think it was maybe like 3 days at that point. I mean, things was moving real fast. It was crazy, but she was like, no. She's like, I'm not gonna go just because she was like, it makes me uncomfortable with the fact that you're okay with it. I'm like, I don't see a reason not to be. I mean, if there's no, I was like, if we are talking about trying to get into a relationship, I was like, in time at some point, I was like, shouldn't there be trust there? I was like, that's like me saying, hey, I'm gonna lock you in the basement because I don't want you to be around anybody. or vice versa. She was like, that actually sounds pretty comfortable right now. I was like, red flag, ding, ding, ding. I think I'm good. But no, the way that they drain is they will erode your sense of autonomy. And it's crazy. Like you don't feel like you're living your own life. Everything is based off of what they want, what they need, what they gotta have in their time, their way. The best way to combat this is to assert your independence. Use I statements and stand firm on your choices. You need to make it known that, look, it takes two halves to make a whole. And if you want to sit here and be a whole and everything is you, then you don't need me. Okay? Get it, got it good. I will not do this. I cannot do this. I will not do this. And then stand firm on it. Because as soon as they feel any sense of you cowering, you kind of just like sinking a little bit. Oh, it's game over. You best believe it is done. At that point, right then and there, it is done. They're going to speak in a way that's going to have you questioning. You're not going to know how to get back your stance. You're not going to know how to take the control back over because they will dominate you. You need to be strong when dealing with a controller because they have been controlling for so long and they've so used to being the one in control that if they feel that they're losing control, they can get violent or they can manipulate the situation to have others think that you are violent. For example, same girl. I was asleep one day, and I think this was probably like 2 weeks in. I was asleep one day. We just got done smashing. To be honest with you, we got done smashing. I was sleeping, and then I guess I don't know what the fuck decided to go through her head to have her think that this was a good fucking idea. Like almost got your head rocked the fuck off. I'm sleeping, and I get woken up to a hey with her slapping her hands down by my pillow as I'm sleeping. When I told you I woke up and almost decked this girl in the fucking face, and then she freaked out and like ran to the corner of the room and dropped down, started crying and shivering and shaking, talking about don't beat me, don't beat me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, whew. And that is the reason why I don't sleep with weapons in my room. Well, why I had to stop sleeping with weapons in my room. Because I know with my ex-wife, I remember pulling a knife on her. PTSD is a real shit. But I mean, I'm a lot better now. But nah, true talk, no lie. And she made it seem as if like I was going to beat the shit out of her. And I was like, I'm still sitting in the bed looking up, like trying to gauge like where I'm at, shit, trying to wake up. This was many moons ago, many years ago. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like looking, recognize what's going on, snap back to reality. I was like, yo. And I was young at the time, didn't know about all this stuff. I didn't even know about spirituality. I grew up in a Baptist household where everything that was not God was the devil, you know? So, oh my God, you're meditating? That's the devil's work. Oh, no. Oh my God, you're speaking positive about yourself and saying that you are God. God is in you. Oh no, fuck that. Pretty much. I tell people all the time, like, I'm not religious. I was like, I lean more towards spirituality. But with it, I do have a relationship with God. I don't even like saying Jesus. I don't put a name on it because that right there, we all have God in us and we all are an aspect of God. We have God within us. So for me to say that God is Jesus or God is Buddha or God is Jesus Rasim, God is Asherah, I can't say that there is a person or a being that is God because God is all, you know? Anywho, getting off track. Going back to it. Stand firm on your choices. If you say something, stay with it. Don't second guess yourself. Do not question yourself. Now, the last one, the sixth one, I'm not very, very, very knowledgeable on this. However, this is one that popped up. The psychic parasites. This is a spiritual draining. It's ridiculous. And this one, They're spiritually draining. They may show up in dreams, leave you fatigued after interaction. Oh, succubus, incubus. Ooh, I got a story on this motherfucker. Oh, okay, okay. Oh man. Oh shit. I don't even know if I'm ready to tell this one. I spoke to one girl about this, and I remember during the time where me and this girl were having coitus. All right, so you know what? Fuck it. I was raped by this one chick. Some people may know about this. It actually falls into the narcissist. The narcissist end up covering all these traits. Though the narcissist literally covered all of it. She's a narcissist. She always plays the victim. She's a drama magnet. Very passive aggressive and always needs to be in control. And then with it, this is the part that fucking gets me. Oh shit. God damn. All right, hold up. There was one time that me and this chick was engaged in coitus, and I watched her face change. Like it like sagged and kind of like turned into like a gargoyle type shit. Like, have you ever seen like Disney gargoyles back in the day? Did like some shit like that. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Boop! Instantly, flaccid, flaccid penis, flaccid shit said. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And the crazy thing was that happened. I told her like out of nowhere. This is when I was like getting real deep into spirituality, which, mind you, I'm not gonna get. Oh God, I got stories. Fudge, I got stories. So that ended up happening, and out of nowhere, I was like, "You're a succubus," and she was like, "What?" I was like, and I'm kind of like thinking like, "Where the fuck that come from?" Like a succubus, and she was like, "What?" She like gets off me, obviously, because my shit's just. Flat. And I was like, "You're a succubus." I was like, she was like, "What's a succubus?" Which I think she knew what a succubus was. 'Cause I'm pretty sure she's probably heard it before. So you are sex. I was like, "You're a sexually draining individual." I was like, I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Well, when you get a chance, look it up. Look up what a succubus is." I got my shit, got the fuck out. And then next thing you know, it was about 2 weeks later. No, it was a week later. That was when she took advantage of me. Me and the attorney and everything are pretty sure that she drugged me. I remember waking up. She's cleaning me off with a dark colored rag, and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?" This bitch had sex with me when she was on her period. I had a boundary from the very beginning since she hunted me out, and I was like, "I don't have sex with girls on their period." I was like, I don't do that." I was like, "I don't do it. I don't even do that with my wife. Like, I don't do that. I, in my spirit, something's always said, don't do that. So I never have. But I remember like before we went out that night, she was on her period. She was wearing black leggings. And so I woke up and I don't even remember how we got home. I remember bits and pieces because she was driving my car back. Then we ended up coming on base. I remember waking up in her bed, and she's cleaning me off with a dark colored rag. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm cleaning you off." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "We had sex." I was like, "What the fuck? You're on your period." She's like, "I know." I was like, "What the fuck?" And I ended up like falling back to sleep. I wake up again. I like look over at her. I was like, "What the hell?" Head still like fucking spinning. I was like, "What the fuck?" I end up grabbing my boxers off the left corner of the bed and grab my clothes off the dresser, which was like right here, and her door's here. She had a nightstand here, and there was a television right here. And I got my shit. I went down the steps and found my car. Drove home. When I got to the house, took a shower because I'm still just like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on?" And then I ended up going to work. And I felt the type of way, and I even had told her, I was like, "Yo, I don't like that." I was unconscious. Succubus, what they do is they'll find you in your sleep, and they will drain your sexual energy in your sleep. They'll be having sex with you in your sleep, in your dreams. That's what she did. A week later, I broke it off with her, and that's when all the drama started going. I ended up finding out that she had put like a love spell on me, eventually turned it to a hex. It was ridiculous. But that is what psychic parasites will do. Succubus, incubus. Um, what's the babe? Babe, could you call the Sandman a psychic parasite? No. I mean, he can give you dreams or nightmares. Ah, okay. All right. So Sandman would not fall into a psychic parasite, but incubus, succubus, they. I'm not talking about a movie. I'm talking about the actual deity Sandman. Okay. What the fudge? I'm talking about psychic parasites, incubus, succubus, Sandman. They will spiritually drain you. They'll show up in dreams. They may leave you fatigued after interaction. What's the thing? There's another one that'll leave you in a sleep paralysis. What's that one, babe? No, okay, I guess that's simple. But yes, so the way that they will drain you is they feed off your spiritual light or your high vibration. It's very important to cleanse your aura. With that, grounding can help, but what you need to do is practice energy cleansing. So, I mean, that's sage, salt baths. My wife really got me on the salt baths, but she's a fucking mermaid, so she loves water. And I'm like, I can sit in it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. After that, I'm like, I need to go. I feel a lot better out in the world. Ooh, excuse me. Prayer, shielding visualizations. You can do the Psalms. I'm like, the Bible has a lot of good scriptures, which you can also call them incantations. You can call. Huh? What? The African Bible? Oh, the Ethiopian one? Yeah. I mean, they even got the Book of Enoch in there. The ones that they took out. But anyway, limit spiritual access to you. You need to learn how to protect yourself on a spiritual way. There are multiple ways to do that, but the thing that gets me is a lot of people are not aware of how to protect themselves spiritually. They know how to protect their mind, they know how to protect their emotions, they know how to protect their body, but they don't know how to protect their spirit. And that's where a lot of things can get attached to you. For example, STDs, sexually transmitted demons. Every time that you end up putting it in someone or you allow someone to put it in you, you are taking on all of the demons that are in them that have also come from everybody else that they have slept with and all the demons that have come from all the other people that those people have slept with. So if you think about it, you got so many demons in you already or attached to you already. Your ancestors are sitting here fighting for their lives. Have you ever seen the movie 300? That's what the fuck's going on in the spiritual realm around you right now. Right meow. But nah, true talk, no lie. So that is the 6 energy vampires. Now, ways to protect yourself. I'm going to go over a couple. Some that me and my wife practice and things that I'm teaching my kids as well. The grounding meditations, like y'all heard me say earlier. Sometimes my wife is watching that ratchet shit and the drama and chaos and all that. I'm like, yo, put your headphones in. Sometimes I'll go out on a walk in nature. That's one way that I ground myself. I'll go meditate on this big ass boulder that's outside. I'll do that. Sometimes I just go dip my feet in the water. You need to learn how to ground. You need to meditate. And meditation is not always sitting here going home or thinking, what is the sound of one hand slapping or clapping type stuff, you know? Meditation can be multiple different things. A way that you are able to calm your mind, a way that you're able to go within, a way that you are able to find something and stick to it to balance yourself. I know people who meditate by running. Me, I like to get in the flow state and meditate when I'm training. There's people who go to the gym and they meditate while pumping iron. Meditation looks different to everybody. So if you think that meditation is going and sitting down with your legs crossed, that's one form. You can do many things. Some people find that balance in meditation and yoga. Find what works for you, a way that you're able to calm your mind and cleanse yourself. Morning affirmations. My energy is mine. I am safe and protected. I am a wonderful being. I'm only in charge of the energy I put out, not how others receive it. I mean, giving yourself affirmations in the morning. Look in the mirror. In the mirror. I said mirror. Sorry. Slipping. I'm like, so look in the mirror. God, whatever. Be who you are. Be who you are. Be your authentic self. So look in the mirror and honestly, say that affirmation. Believe it, feel it, and be it. Spiritual hygiene. As I spoke about, you need to take those baths. You need to do those walks. You need to cleanse yourself. There are cleansing rituals. I mean, you don't necessarily need a shaman or a priestess in order to do these things. You can research it yourself. If you do research it yourself, don't get caught up doing some stuff you shouldn't be doing and wonder why some stuff is happening to you. Ooh. Be careful. Research it. Look into it. Research it until you have it down to a science and you know you can do it without reading a book. You have it down. You have read it enough and practiced it enough without actually doing it, but going through the motions. So that way when you do it, you are confident in your abilities, okay? Learn to say no without guilt. I did a podcast episode with my mom that I think I have on the YouTube. It's called Saying No, Let Go with Grace. Being unapologetically you. You need to learn how to say no without guilt. Do not feel bad for saying no. In all honesty, ever since I started saying no, I have not felt better. Girls be trying to shoot their shot at me. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I mean, I think the hardest thing to say no to is my kids, but I that's probably the only time that I feel guilty in saying no. But there's a lesson at their age. There's a lesson in the word no. So saying no to them, it teaches them really to be a little more independent and how to get it themselves. You know. Stop over explaining. That was something that I was real big on. I would oftentimes overshare. And I know I get that. I know now. I know I've known for a while. I get that from my mom. Because my mom was telling me some stuff the other day. I was like, damn, woman, I don't need to know all that. And then that's what made me think of it. I was like, well, dang, I talk quite a bit too, you know? So then also, know your triggers and your limits. You need to know what makes you feel a type of way. What reactions you would have to certain things. So that way you know how to maneuver in those situations if they do arise. Try an energy shielding visualization exercise. I'm going to get into that on another episode just because that's going to take some time. But hey, today we talked about energy vampires. The 6 types of energy vampires. The narcissist, the victim, the drama magnet, the passive aggressive, the controller, and the psychic parasite. All right? Those can be anyone from friends, coworkers, even family. Shoot. I have some that were friends. I can think of one that's a coworker. I can think of a couple that were coworkers. And I can think of some that are family. But your peace is sacred. Remember that. Now with it, I want y'all to go ahead and think, like, which type have you encountered most when it comes down to these 6 energy vampires? What types have you encountered the most? And just leave that down in the comments. I don't even want y'all to go into the stories. If you want to, that's perfectly fine. But remember, oversharing. And also, how will you begin protecting your energy today? What things are you going to do? What things have you been doing to protect your energy? And as always, I encourage y'all to share it, comment, and if you want to have some talks or either you want to share your truth, speak your truth, you've been holding on to it for so long, you can feel that your chakras are not aligned and your voice seems to be blocked, go ahead and DM me, reach out to me. I would love to have you all here to speak your truth. So with it, like, subscribe, and share this episode if it spoke to your soul. And remember, your energy is divine. Relax your mind. It's divine time. Deuces.